Ultra Instinct right now. He's mastered his Sage mode. He's back on top. He's he's beaming with electricity. I feel great. Started an interesting week this week at work. A lot of hours, but fuck it, we're here. We made it this week. Got a few things to talk about, but first, as always, I got to kick it to Sage.
Man, you're right, bro. It's been a crazy week. I'm not gonna even talk about the week I had or the things that happened because it's not even a matter of here nor there no more.
We're just talking about interesting things that you
Yeah,
found interesting this week.
I
Uh,
found multiple things interesting. One, Joe Biden. Once again, you've never ceased to amaze me on how much of a moron you are. And I think I can say that because it's freedom of speech and you guys were saying you guys were going to assassinate Trump and shit. So I'm just saying, I feel like me calling Joe Biden a moron, and I feel like Dan calls him worse. Like, even if he's probably listening, he's probably there like, fuck you, Joe Biden, you piece of cocksucking shit. But you never cease to amaze me, Commander and Cock. Uh, I have little to no words left for you. Um, I really thought Bush was a pretty shitty ass fucking president, but you're creeping on that on that rivalry really hard, and fuck you, bro. And I want everybody to know, all the workers that are working, that are not vaccinated, that are not uh uh taking that poison or whatever you want to call it into your body, and you're standing your ground, bro. I stand with y'all. I really do support y'all. And honestly, I can't wait until Walmart tells me, yo, y'all mandatory got to get vaccinated. Because guess what? That's when I. That's when my gate. I'm like a racehorse. That's when my gate opens and I get to join the race. Cause right now I'm pushing that shit. I want to join, but it's like, oh, I don't really got a reason to fight yet. I don't got a reason to. I don't got a bone to bite. But the minute that shit happens, I want y'all to know y'all always got the sage on y'all side, bro. If y'all have y'all job, literally telling y'all, yo, you guys have to get vaccinated, or else you guys are gonna be suspended or fired. Guess what? You could tell that job that the sage told them that there's a big giant cock that they can suck, and it's mine. They can suck that big, giant, thick, throbbing cock. Because that shit is wrong, it's not cool, it's not right. And again, I said this when they were riding the streets. What happens to the essential workers? Those essential workers weren't vaccinated. Those essential workers were fighting the fight. Remember? They were your heroes, my heroes. They're doing it for us. The frontliners and the blah, 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 blah liner, whatever crap. All this bullshit. Started attacking the communities. What happened to the essential workers? Oh, we still care. They still care, Sage. You're being dramatic. You're being this. You're being that. Some guy called me Uncle Tom, which is like, honestly, I will be called Theo Tommy, but it's all right. It's whatever. Uh, you guys can Americanize me again. It's cool. Can I just be Spanish at some fucking point of my life? I just want to be Spanish somewhere. Apparently, I can't even be Spanish now. I'm black, but now I'm black. I can't even be a uncle. I can't even be a Theo Tommy. I gotta be a Uncle Tom. Why, bro? We don't. I don't even call my own uncle Unc. I don't call him Unc. I call him Theo. Ain't no Theo Tommy, bro. All right. What I am is just someone that sees the fucking bullshit, bro. I saw it before. I wouldn't say everybody else, but I saw it before. A lot of fucking people, a lot of peons, a lot of fucking bigots, a lot of fucking simple-minded fucks that were just following trends and thinking as long as they were doing that they were gonna be okay. And now this is what we have. And it's funny, bro. It cracks me up, Coin, bro, because people thought that being with Trump was gonna be the end of the world, but we made it, right? Nothing really broke. Nothing really died. The only thing that was destroyed was from the left side when they were taking down the statues, and from Antifa and fucking stupid fucking plants that were rioting the city and rioting the Capitol. Like, what, what's happened,
Well,
right?
the Trump supporters destroyed the country morally, don't you know? You see now at these events like NASCAR, where in LSU games and multiple college games, where you're hearing thunderous chants of "fuck you, Biden," to the point where the mainstream broadcasters that are covering the sport are having to correct them. Did you see that shit? Where they were going at a NASCAR race, like after he won, and they were like, "Oh, they're saying let's go, Brandon," to really put on their damage
Oh,
control, and
fuck
it
yeah,
was.
Biden. They're like, oh, they're saying go get Doritos for $49.99. Oh, they're at the concession stands. Yeah, those fucking guys.
But they had to see this wondering. There you go. It's he's allowed to go mainstream. Thank you.
And
Joe
it's
Biden.
like, nobody's, and everybody thinks nobody hates Joe Biden. A lot of people hate Joe Biden. And then people, and I love it when you say that, right? When finally you attack the left goes on this like hippie, nah, bro, we're just the same. It's all happening to us, all of us type of shit. They go, all elections are frauds, man. All presidents fuck up, man. Nah, fuck you, bro. Because when we were saying that shit, when you guys were saying that Trump was the worst president, Trump was a fraud, Trump was doing that, we was like, really, all presidents? No, that's bullshit. And now you realize Trump really wasn't that bad, and Biden really is a piece of shit. Now it's not really all presidents are just puppets, bro. Really, all presidents are just this. No, you don't really understand, bro. You gotta be woke, bro. Like it's like, bro, what the holy fuck? So my non-vaccinated brothers and sisters at arms, bro. Guess what? Sage ain't vaccinated. You could tell that to the press. You could tell that shit to my mama, cause she already knows. You could tell that shit to God, cause he already knows. Tell that shit to anybody you want. The sage is not vaccinated. The sage is not getting vaccinated. The sage will get vaccinated. I'll tell you when the sage gets vaccinated, bro. The sage will get vaccinated when I literally sit down with the motherfuckers that make the vaccine and I see what goes into it, and I personally go, all right, cool. And I know what's in there, or if I can make a team that can make me my own vaccine that's way healthier, yeah, I'll get it then. Oh yeah, in my controlled way where I know it's not gonna be fucking fucked up 100%. And then after I get it and I know it works on me, guess what? We're giving it to everybody else for for so much free. You could get that shit. It's gonna be shipped to your house for free,
That's
like popcorn or
really
anywhere else.
that's hilarious. That like I just imagine you like next to the guy with the microscope putting the shit in. And you're like chlorine benzo. What the fuck is this? Like benzo. I thought we were talking about vaccines, not cars.
Like, yo,
Like
what
you're
the
trying to
fuck?
verify the shit.
Like, you're looking at the code, like, yo, what is this? Oh, this is the BX2Y4156. Yo, you put in fucking, what the fuck does that mean? Then I have to take him. We go to a computer. He looks it up. He tells me what it is, and I look at it. I go, I bet. And then we go back. Or like even if it's a doctor that I know, like there's someone that I know that's studying that's biochemistry, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend. Yeah, I have a friend that's studying biochemistry. If he majors it and he becomes a real biochemist and stuff like that, hell yeah, I have that nigga make me a fucking vaccine. I'll pay the nigga whatever the fuck he wants. Like, bro, unless he says like I want like $50 million, I'm like, bro, eat my dick. Like, relax. We're all poor here. We're trying to
Hey, it's
make.
a free market, baby.
Yeah, like nah, if I had 50 mil to give him, yeah, but if I don't, I'd be like, I give you 5K, and then we'll start there, and see how it
No.
works.
What if he said 50,000? Would you take that
Nah,
50,000 and buy that like extend your life 10 years vaccine, or would you go have dinner with Jay-Z?
wait, why can't I do both?
No, I'm just referring to that stupid fucking meme of like people saying, "Oh, if I had 50,000 or 500,000, whatever absurd number it is, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna have dinner with Jay Z, and he's gonna tell me how to make money." Motherfucker, you just lost 50 to 500 grand in one dinner, and you think you're gonna learn about making more money from the guy that just took it from you?
That makes it mad. That actually makes me laugh because I just think about J. Cole's story about how he literally gave 50 his CD for free
Mm-hmm.
after meeting him outside, and then he's a fucking multimillionaire. So like, why the fuck will I have to give 50K to sit down with Jay? Why will I pay Jay-Z to sit down with me to eat so he can give me knowledge? I'm basically paying him to give me knowledge.
I
Like I'm yeah.
assume it's a bunch of people online that started this shit. Now it's a meme, but I've heard about this for a while, a couple of years now at least, where that was a thing. Like people were talking about, no, you take that dinner. Why? 50,000. If I have 50,000 to spare, why don't I invest it in something? I've already made $50,000 that I have just on hand. But I think it was just a bunch of people trying to sound smarter than they are. They're just like,
Yeah, a
oh,
bunch of
that's
idiots. Like I can help you guys right now. Look, everybody listening, you don't have to go see Jay-Z. I'm gonna tell you what Hove is gonna tell you right now. All right? I'm gonna save you 50K, 500K, whatever amount, right? You're gonna tell them, like, look, bro, I got 500K, Jay, or Sean, or whatever the fuck you want to call him. You'd be like, Hove. I'll call him Hove because that's what the fuck he is. He's young Hove. And I'll be like, yo, Hove, I got 500K. I got it doing this. How can I make it to a billion? He's gonna literally tell you. He's gonna go, if you can make 50K, if you can make 500K, then you can make 500 million. If you can make 500 million, you can make 500 billion. You can literally do that with the same concept that you made $500,000 with. Okay, people? The same concept, just amplify it, right? So it's like playing Farmville, right? How did you make that level one house in Farmville, right? You had one little plot of fucking mushrooms, a little fucking worker, and a fucking truck, right? And then that supplied that level one house, right? But you got a level 50 house. You had a couple more plants, but now you want to get to level 200. So how can you do that? Well, you have to make sure that the same outline that you have gets amplified to benefit the level 200 household. It works that same simple ass concept in real life. It's not hard. Don't ever worry about the red. Just keep on going on what you're going. Keep on investing on what your dreams are. Because at the end of the day, it's all a mistake. It's all a big mistake until you hit. That's the one. Like it's crazy how Dave Chappelle said that. Like Joe Rogan or some no Charlemagne told Dave Chappelle was like, I can't believe you actually did it. Like you was the only one that went away for 5 years and came back and right after, like you left a $50 million deal with Comedy Central to finesse it later on to get uh I think it was a 400 million. No, to literally get a
you got
three
two for
comedy
40.
yeah, two comedy special deal for 40 mil instead of you having to do the Chappelle show for another 20 plus years. You know, that was amazing. And he literally goes, it's only amazing because it ended up that way. If not, it would have been a whole other story. It would have been Dave Chappelle left Comedy Central, got broke, and went to Africa and some shit. Like it's like, like it's if it's your dream, then you keep on making it. Like that's one of the things I love about One Piece. One Piece is mad long as fuck. And if you learn about the main character, you literally see him from episode 1 to episode 1000 or 900 and something, and how much he has progressed and grown and is stronger and he's achieved so much. But to the overall goal of his dream, he's not even nowhere close. So he's actually a failure. He's actually a bum in society standards now, but he doesn't give a fuck about that. He's like, I'm just doing my dream. The dream is like, don't worry about the time clock. Don't worry about Jay became a billionaire when he was 50 years old. You think he wanted to do that at 50? Nah, he was probably trying to do that shit at 30 or 40. But nah, he did it at 50. It doesn't matter. Whenever you get it, as long as you get it. And then when you get it, you're there. Like, it's just that. And it's Coin's turn. Flip.
No, I was actually kind of captured by your speech right there. It was very motivational. I love how you brought up Farmville too. That was hilarious. And then when you talk about people wanting to have dinner with a famous person to get knowledge from them, it's like you don't deserve it because you're not seeking the knowledge yourself. And I'm tired of grandstanding on the situation, but it's just ridiculous how many people actually believed that you could go to dinner with Jay-Z and then the next day you're like on your way to being a billionaire. But anyway, I want to talk about discrimination. And I want to discriminate against a certain group of people.
Okay.
People who smoke cigarettes in their car with the windows up and then come into an establishment and make my head fucking hurt. This is the one thing I'm going to complain about this entire show, but it's been heavy on my mind and on my brain cells, literally, because it's happened more and more frequently. That's my PSA for today. Quit smoking cigarettes with the windows up, getting it all over your clothes. I'm not going to say quit smoking cigarettes in general because everybody has their fucking vice. I vape. But that smell makes me want to throw up right in your face and not sell you anything. Now, that being said, what is your take on cigarettes, the smell? I tried to bring it up in a funny way, but you didn't laugh about the discrimination thing, so you're
I thought
actually
you was
really
gonna talk
serious.
about black. I thought you was talking about
Well,
black
that's the
people.
point of the
I was
joke,
like, oh
asshole.
my god. I was like, holy shit. And then you did, and then I laughed on the inside. I have to learn that. And that's another thing too. I have to allow myself to laugh outside because I found it really funny. I was like, oh, he's talking about cigarette smokers. Fuck yeah. But then,
But with that flop joke aside, whatever. What do you feel about smoking with no ventilation? Because it pisses me off.
I hate smoking cigarettes. From someone that used to smoke cigarettes, yeah, I hate smoking cigarettes. I hate people who smoke cigarettes. I also hate the stigma that weed has, and it has it because of cigarettes.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to parlay into that, but go. Sorry.
Like it's super annoying. Like I'm a stoner, right? So if anybody doesn't know what that means, I smoke weed. It's my life. I don't smoke it 24/7, but I smoke weed. Like I can tell you about the types of weed. I can tell you about the types of potencies. I can tell you how to grow it. I can tell you how to get keef out of the stems. I can tell you which ways to smoke it. I can show a newcomer how to come into weed correctly and not fuck up his whole fucking first beginner's fucking experience. I'm a stoner. Never once do I ever smell like rank weed. Never once do. Oh, I never smoke in a car anyway. But like it's a big fucking deal for us smokers that our smell is one kept. is one kept good? Because one, if you do smoke weed, you will get a stench on you. And for stoners, we were smoking in secret because if the company knew that we were smoking, we would lose our jobs. So we don't have that problem. Cigarette smokers do. Cigarettes are poison. Weed is not. Cigarettes kill people. Weed, well, I'm not gonna say weed doesn't kill you. It probably does, but
Never
it's
documented once.
never. Okay, then look, weed has not killed you. Cigarettes documented over millions, over millions. It's wild, you know.
So
That's the things I hate. Yeah,
so I'm glad you brought that up because there's literally that term left-handed cigarette, and the way that you know reefer madness came about, and all of these things that were at the detriment of a medicine, essentially. Yeah, people can overuse it and get high and just do fucking nothing all day. That's why I choose to smoke at night. Just I drift off into thought and then drift off into sleep. But this, I originally wanted to bring this up, but you kind of covered every topic, and you're really good at that.
I'm sorry. So you should go first.
You know what? I don't even know how to transition out of this because you've kind of covered everything.
No, well,
So
I want to know your opinion though. Even if it's repetitive to mine, I would love to know what you have to say and what's your experience and your narrative on it.
so when you come in and you look for, because I do work in the marijuana business, the cannabis industry, and we like offer cigarettes, hempettes, what they're called on the CBD side. We offer so many alternatives at a pretty good price too that can help you get off these things. And I just see time and time again people come in and they'll buy. You ever heard of Delta 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're an actual stoner, so you scoff at it, but
Yeah.
I have a lot of
Nah,
people
it's
that
nah,
just
yeah,
come
it's
in.
Reggie. Yeah, it's Reggie.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
it is. But they'll come in, they'll get the most potent vape cart, and they'll get high legally, but they're still smoking their cigarettes. And I try because we are medical in our state, so we treat it as such. We
Yeah.
try to help people get alternative things. So a lot of people use tinctures to get off cigarettes. Like I said, the hempettes, gummies even because they're a little bit longer lasting. Now, so many people I see still coming in and they're just wanting to get high and the cigarettes. Why do you think so many people, myself included, I'm a nicotine addict, are because I can't see past my own addiction from it? What do you think it is that keeps people hooked on this thing? Is it the physical addiction itself? Like you said, you used to smoke. How did you stop and why did you stop? And why do you think it's so hard for other people? And I know that's a vague fucking question. Cigarettes are one of the hardest things to quit. I've seen it done and it's really hard. But what is your take on that?
Uh,
Because
it wasn't hard for me. Like I actually didn't start buying packs until I came here because packs are so cheap here. So I was like, oh, I could buy a pack. Like when I was in New York, I would just
no,
go
they're like
overseas.
$15 a pack, probably.
Yeah, like in New York, they're like close to Newports are close to $20. And I always told myself like, and I was like, not for nothing. I'm a cheap ass person. Like the things I buy, like people think like I spend money and I have really expensive vices. Not really much. I don't buy more than probably a half ounce. Like if I buy an ounce, it's just too much for me. And I'm just like, and then I start doing stupid things, and then it's just a waste of money, and that makes me upset. Like
You start
when it
seeing
came
if you
to
can roll 3 gram blunts and that.
yeah, it's like, bro, like who the fuck wants to do that? Like it doesn't make sense. Like with cigarettes, it was the same exact thing. Like I'll buy 50 cent for one Lucy, $1 for two, and $2 for five. So it was like, great, that's awesome. Five, I would never need more than five, you know? And I always told myself if I ever have to buy a pack, then that's when I have to stop because I'm not spending $20 on a pack of cigarettes. That's just gonna kill me. Like it's cool if it's killing me a little bit when I'm putting $50, 50 cents. It's like it's just 50 cents. But now it's like now it's killing me for $20. Nah, it's not that serious. So then I didn't do it in New York, and I kind of went into cigarettes backwards. Like people usually go from cigarettes to vaping to hookah to whatever. Like I went into hookah. I loved hookah. Hookah was like the coolest thing to me because I always felt like I was a dragon. Like big clouds. That was the coolest thing. And then, you can't just walk around with a fucking hookah, and in the fucking street. Even though Dominicans do it, I don't know why, but like you just can't do that. So I always try to find something that can make me like have big clouds. So then I started smoking Black and Miles, and then that was retarded. And I started smoking. I did a little bit of cigars. Cigars were cool, but like cigars was only like I felt like I don't know. I had to like celebrate something if I had to smoke a cigar. Like I just can't
Right.
sit down and just smoke a cigar. I'm like I'm not doing nothing. And so then I got into vaping when vaping was underground. And
When it was still like the pen.
no, bro. I'm talking about like the era of the fat boy and the little man era. You remember the fat boy that was like 4 batteries in that bitch, and you could
I've seen one
literally,
of those. Yeah, it was called Thor's Hammer, and I was like,
yeah,
"Fuck that."
bro. That's just shit, bro. Like I even knew how to illegally wick and do the wadding on my and the ohms on my fucking thing. We used to
Fucking
like we used
jailbroke your vape.
Bro, what? I used to compete, bro. I used to compete in underground vaping things. I was really in the vaping community.
I You can't see my face right now, but my
I
jaw
know
dropped
it's
when you said competing in underground vaping tournaments.
yeah,
And I'm not
bro.
making
Like,
fun of you. I'm just like that's
bro,
pretty interesting.
it it was wild. Like, like I can literally like my intake and exhale. I can put a cloud in my prime. Not now, trust me. I try every time, but I could put a cloud over a foot long. A stream, not even like, and it's like little bro, a fucking cloud, a foot long, bro. I was about this life.
He was making fucking cumulonimbus clouds.
I was a cloud chaser. That was the names. I was a cloud chaser. I felt like that was the shit too. And we was rebels in that shit, bro. And there was no vaping laws back then. There was no nothing. Before the FDA even touched vaping, we was in that shit. So we can vape anywhere because nobody could tell us nothing. Because it's no smoking cigarettes. And it's a picture of a cigarette. So even if they tell me no smoking, where does the sign say that? Oh, no smoking. I'm not smoking, I'm vaping.
You're just
Oh,
using some fucking Village of the Hidden Mist jutsus in the fucking Walmart of your
yeah,
local area.
bro.
People are like, "What the
Walmart,
fuck? Is
bro.
the Undertaker coming out?"
I used to be in fucking Zara, right? I used to
Mm-hmm.
have my vape. I used to be in Zara, those little those clove racks that are like a circle and they got like nothing in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I'll take my vape, bro, and I'll take the biggest inhale and I'll just blow that shit in the fucking middle and I'll just do that shit to every single one. And then it will just be smoke. And then the boss came and he said, "What the hell is this?" And I was like, "Yo, I just put my vape in there." And I just put the smoke. I was like, "Nothing's burning." He was like, "This looks mad cool." He goes, "Now every time it runs out, you gotta do it." And I was doing it.
Imagine in 2020, 2021, that happening with COVID,
Mm-mm,
just breathing on everybody's
mm-mm.
clothes. The manager walks
Yeah,
up,
I'm
"What? You're
giving,
fired, motherfucker."
I'm plaguing everybody, bro. But like, yo, like that shit was such like the thing. Like, and then I got into vaping and I loved vaping. Even now, like I have to not vape. Because if I vape, I'll get into like getting mods. I'll start tweaking shit, and it's a big ass investment that I don't want to do again. And then I had nothing else. And then back at that time when the FDA got in charge of vaping and stuff like that, there was no jewels. There was no little hide pens. Like I have this pen. I found one. I have this bitch, right? This shit wasn't even around. This was nothing. There was nothing like this. You either had to buy a
Right.
starter kit that was whack as fuck, cost $25, and it was boo boo trash. It actually looks like what the weed pens are. That's
Yeah.
what the first. That's what V1 fucking level one vapes were, bro. You spend $25, you get that. It gives you juice. You buy tanks of juice at the vape stores and all that other shit, and it's doo doo trash. It's whack, like honestly. And then I didn't want to do that, so then I went into cigarettes because it was just convenient. Then I came here to Florida and like I could get a pack of cigarettes for $3.50. Like that shit is wow crazy. I can't get Newports for that much, but I can get a good pack of cigarettes for $3.50. And then I got a little bit into that, but then it just like I'm all about like, especially now with my anxiety and like I understand my body. Like I know what my body wants. I know when my body needs certain things. I know when it doesn't. And I hate when I smoke and puts my body off. Like I feel that shit immediately. Like I could be on like fourth gear, fucking wailing on Do Flamingo type shit, bro. And I take a cigarette, I'm done for the whole day. I'm like, oh my god, I'm tired, I'm lazy. Like that's the shit. Weed doesn't make me lazy. Weed gets me like motivated. Weed gets me amped. Cigarettes get me mad lazy. Cigarettes does not wake me up. Like I hate that shit. So to me it was easier to quit, you know. And again, I about smell. It's really hard to hide the cigarette smell, you know, than it is to hide the weed smell. Because cigarette has such a strong that tobacco with the nicotine and the tar and all that shit burning and it sticks on your skin and your clothes. It's really disgusting. And like it stays in your hands and it's like, bro, I don't want to do that. Like I don't give a fuck. Like I'm not down with this. Like so then like to me it was so much easier to quit smoking. But I always tell people that like that have such a hard time smoking, I'm like, yo, you guys should just do vaping. Like, you know, like I tell people that all the time. Like you guys can pick your nicotine level. It's so fucking easier. There's so much more cuter, little adjustable fucking things, you know, but people don't understand. Like people think that their addiction is cigarettes. And it's like, nah, most some people, some people are addicted to that fucking like they need that kick of
Right.
fucking nicotine. Other people, they just need this motion. They need the oral fixation. Like my thing was the oral fixation. No homo.
Hmm.
Like it was it was always about that. Like that's why like I don't eat David sunflower seeds. I refuse to eat some. I refuse. If somebody like no matter what, I see sunflower seeds, I will not even take one. Because if I take one, I'm never gonna stop.
And then
Ever.
you're gonna wind up with gout from all that fucking salt.
Like it's like and I love like it's that oral fixation. That's why like I'll buy like a bag of M&Ms and I like and like honestly it favors into my sweet tooth. Like I buy like a big ass family bag of M&Ms and I'm just eating that shit. And I don't even want chocolate anymore, but it's that oral fixation of me just doing that motion. It's the same thing as this. It's the same thing as this. It's the oral fixation. The
Okay.
best thing about the best thing about weed is that I get the oral fixation and it fucking skyrockets me to fucking cloud nine. And I'm like, oh, this is great. So it's all dope.
Now, speaking of weed, I mean, both of us partake. You are a much more daily user than me. My tolerance is probably nowhere near yours, but I function better sober. I sleep better high, and it honestly, I love that time where you can think, or even it makes fucking TV better. Go watch, the latest season of Attack on Titans high. That's amazing. But what do you dream a lot as an avid user?
Let me ask you before I answer my question, because I think I know where this is
Okay.
going. Do you dream?
So if I skip a day or two from smoking, or sometimes I take edibles, If I skip that, I have the craziest fucking dreams.
Do you know why?
I've heard different things like you don't enter REM sleep when you have high amounts of THC in you, but I've heard of
It's not
a
even
number of different ones.
it's not even high amounts. It's so liquor, anything that dampens your brain, you know, that puts your
Hmm.
brain from high frequency to hey dude or anything like that,
Yeah.
you don't get REM sleep. So what happens, but you never lose your REM sleep. That never goes away. So what happens is that your brain stores it somewhere else. It'll go, okay,
Uh,
Elias isn't using REM sleep tonight, so we're gonna put that for backup, right? So then when you're not
when the barn's
high,
full of hay,
yeah,
it's
you're getting REM sleep and the REM sleep you missed. So what I call super REM sleep. So like your dreams are much more vivider, much more crazier. Like in the beginning of I dream all the time now. Like I have no like I'm very well. Like I take every 3 months. I take a 2 week tolerance break like I have very good control over the vice that I have, so I don't get
mhm.
none of the THC detox effects. You know, because I hate that. That's one of the things I hate. I hate that I have a hard time sleeping, and then when I do sleep, I get some crazy ass. Like the last dream I had, a cookie ate me,
Damn
and
how the tables have turned.
I felt every chew, everything break. I didn't eat cookies for a minute. Like I was like, nah, bro, fuck yeah, nigga. Like it fucked me up. Like it was vivid. Like it was wild. And I woke up in a pool of my sweat, and I was like, this is whack. And then like and your sleeping appetite gets all out of whack. Your mood swings get all out of whack. Like you get agitated, like you get like a super like I like if you tell it to someone that doesn't know about anything about drugs, they'll say, "Oh, you're detoxing from like crack." It's like withdrawal symptoms, and it's like, nah, it's nowhere near that. That's like THC detoxing is like playland compared to what the fuck a crack detoxing, a real hard drug detoxing is. Like your body is legit sick. Like you're like there's no mood swings. Nah, bro, you're fucking sick. You have a fever. You're dying because your body's like, oh, you don't want to take care of me? Bet. And your body just goes on strike. Like it's wild.
Yeah.
So so yeah, you definitely get a super REM sleep, and it's really um, annoying. And I'm sorry that you go through that.
So with that being said, and I want to have this conversation with you. I want us to take like 50 milligrams worth of edibles and have this conversation on another show, but I want to get it out now. Okay.
All right.
I think the conversation could be amplified then. But what is your take on dreams? Where do you think they come from? And not scientifically, because I can get into that too. But what do you think it is, and it for you, your experience? Because I have my own personal experience with them. I just thought this would be an interesting topic since it's something everybody does, but we don't question enough. I think a lot of people do, but they're like, oh well, fucking Squid Games is on Netflix now. Let's stop thinking about dreams.
You're fuck that show.
I haven't seen it yet. I just know it's
I
relevant.
haven't seen it. I haven't seen it either. That's why I'm saying fuck that show, because everybody's talking about it. It's like Baby Yoda. Even the girl I'm talking
Yeah.
to, bro, my shorty all the way from the BX, bro. She's like, yo, Baby Yoda's the best, though, babe. Baby Yoda's the best. Baby Yoda's the best. I'm like, yeah, but you don't even know his name.
Right.
He's like, isn't it Yoda? And I'm like, oh my God, thank God you're adorable.
Isn't it like Mungekyo or something?
It's like, actually, I call it Gerber because it's like Gertrude or some shit like that. But I'm like, Gerber, it's Gerber. For Gerber, baby, whatever. Fuck Baby Yoda. Fuck The Mandalorian. I haven't seen it. It's probably a great fucking show. I'm just tired of people ruining Star Wars for us. Like, stop. Just stop, bro. It was cool. It was great when nobody was talking about it. Nobody thought that they had their hands in the fucking cookie jar. Now J.J. Abrams thinks he could fucking Marvel the shit out of Star Wars, and look what the fuck happened. I'm sorry. That's not what it's about. Dreams. Fucking
Yeah,
Baby Yoda, bro. We're selling Baby Yoda stuff, so that's all I see in Walmart. I'm like, fuck it. There's like a little baby doll. I be murk. I'm like, fuck you, bro. You ain't shit. And I like push it and stuff. And little kids be like, they be grilling me. Motherfucker, how dare you? I'm gonna fuck you up once I'm
they
18
got
and
like a
shit.
Baby Yoda fucking balloon that they got at the concession. You just come by with a fucking needle and pop it.
Yeah. But dreams.
I I love dreams. I think dreams. Besides the fact that when I was in school to be a pastor and I was shadowing a bunch of pastors. Besides the religious aspect of what dreams do for your mind, body, and soul, I definitely think that in your REM sleep is the only time you communicate with your subconscious.
Okay,
Ever.
I'd agree with that.
Like that's and your subconscious doesn't speak. It's not like it's like, hey buddy, what's up? No, nothing, bro. By the way, you forgot to take a shit today, you fucking moron. And fucking call your mother. What the fuck? Like it doesn't talk like that. It sends us vivid dreams and multiple images. And when we're there, we understand it. When we're in that realm, we understand everything in the dream. You know, there's even states of meditation where you can even get into lucid dreams, where you can actually interact in your dream world.
Yeah,
My older, my older brother has astral projected and stuff like that. Like it's dope as fuck.
I've done it twice,
I love
and
that.
well, I've done it a couple times, but I usually wake up right after. And I'd love to hear your stories if you've done it too. But
I've never done it. I feel like that's like as a sage, that's one of the things that I always want to do, and I tell that to my brother all the time. Like I'm learning to meditate, but it's so hard for me because the biggest thing is that you have to calm your mind, and because of my anxiety, my mind is never calm. My body
hmm,
is never calm. I'm always on 1,000. So like I'm learning, and I've gotten it where I can meditate for about a good 10 minutes, where everything is just, um, you know,
everything is one. Yeah,
yeah. And then
it's
after
that
10 minutes,
feeling scares the shit out of me though.
yeah, it's great though. Like I love it. Like honestly, like the fact that I'm playing chess more and stuff like that. Not the chess games I play in life, but the actual chess on my phone. I love that
Hmm.
now that I've been meditating more. It actually helps your cognitive thinking like 100%. Like I'm thinking of more moves to do. I'm thinking of more ways out. Like even at work, again, like you see, my spirits are up and stuff like that. Like I'm. It's definitely great, and I always say that. Like it's very important to give time to your mind, for your mind and body and spirit to that could just connect. Even if you could do it for 3 seconds, that's 3 seconds that your mind, body, and spirit connect and go, oh, what's up, guys? How's it going? And then boom, the life goes. You need something, and
Hmm.
where you don't get that in meditation, you get that definitely in resting and in dreams.
Right.
Which is why I believe your REM sleep is very important to have. I always try to have dreams. I always try to make sure that my mind and my subconscious are always at communicating terms. You know?
Have you have you ever? So you said you've never lucid dreamed. I I would challenge you to try this because this is the only time I've ever done it. It's I learned this basically off of fucking like iFunny or something. This bullshit post. And I was like, fuck it, I'll try it. They said like look at your watch or check the time, and then put your phone away or whatever you were looking at, and then check it again. And if it changed dramatically, that means you were dreaming, and it worked twice. Now, you have that moment usually. I'll wake up because I'm like, okay, fuck, I'm dreaming, time to wake up. But there's that moment of like stillness where you feel just like, okay, everything's good, but I'm still in this world. And on the two occasions I did it, one time I flew in the night sky. It was fucking cool. And then the second time I was at a mansion with like 40 naked chicks, and it was awesome. Now, with that being said, I like I said, I encourage you to try it, but I also want to hear you continue about more so your own experience with dreams, and you brought something up that I can relate to. It's like it kind of teaches you a lesson through subconsciousness.
Yeah.
It's a like a vivid narrative that you don't even want to see sometimes.
Or sometimes it's visions, like like the only time I ever saw my daughter that died from a miscarriage was in a vision that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was, and that was great. That was the greatest thing that my creator has ever given me, was that blessing. That, hey, at least I got to see you as a big person, and we talked and we laughed and and it was awesome, But then it's more of just stuff where, like, just like it's a lot, like it's all about perspective too. Like, like I really think about, like, some certain times people think, oh my god, I had this crazy nightmare. And I'll talk to them like, yo, what was it about? And they'll tell me like it's one thing or it's another, or this some crazy stuff happened. And I will always tell them, you're probably gonna have it tonight as well. And when you have it tonight, think about it differently. Like perspective changes everything. Because again, if your subconscious is communicating with you with images and scenery and and a moving cinema or virtual or this virtual world or this virtual communication, just because you see it as terrifying or scary or horrible doesn't mean that that's how your subconscious is trying to tell you. Not saying that if your subconscious tells you some shit like you're fucking drowning, it's not like he's saying, hey, go to the pool. It's like, yo, bro, maybe you should just chill out. Like, relax. Don't go to the fucking pool. But, it's always something like, again, this is another thing too, where it's more of to understand your dreams and stuff like that. You need to understand what your body's like, communicating with your body more, understanding the music that your body likes to take in, understand what types of food it wants at the moments, not just craving, not just regular cravings, like it's like that's what all the Sage Way is always about, where we sit down and we communicate with ourselves, our mind, body, and spirit. We're always truthful in our minds and to ourselves, no matter what it is. Even if we can't tell our closest friend the God honest truth about ourselves, we should be able to tell it to ourselves and our own alone in a fucking if no one else can hear us. Because if you can't say it to yourself, then no matter what, every day that you're walking, you're living a lie. Because you're not truthful to yourself. The things that you listen to and intake, like there's so many times that where I would be feeling great, right? I'll listen to like Holiday, right? Like today I was listening to Holiday by Madonna. It just popped up on my playlist. And I was like, oh my
Ew.
goodness. And I'm just jamming to it, like Holiday, doing that shit, right? And then after that, DMX came out. Like right after that, and it was like, oh damn, like holy shit, like what a fucking come down, and it's like, and I understood, like, my body didn't want that, there's people that go into that mode, they switch. Oh, I'm in my gully, and then they make that energy wrong, and then your body's taking it wrong, and then now if something happens, someone touches you wrong, now you're feeling like you're in a Rough Rider, and then you're gonna go bark on a nigga. It's like, like it's so crazy how those things happen, because now that person's thinking, nah, he disrespected me, bro. Now I have the justified reason. He's like, I did nothing wrong. But if you were still listening to Madonna when he bumped into you, you would have been chilling. You were like, yo, nah, bro, you good, man, you chilling. You would have kept on dancing and whatever. What your body's intaking and what your body wants from food, movies, cinema, anime, music, anything. There's just days I listen to straight lo-fi hip hop. There's days I listen to straight classical music. There's fucking days I listen to straight Langston Hughes. There's days I listen to straight Drake. There's days I listen to straight Kanye, DMX. There's a straight Hove day I would have one day where I'm like, I'm gonna just go to Hove's whole catalog and just hear it all, and I just go like, damn, this is great shit, you know. But it's what my body wants, and it doesn't take it wrong, you know. There's even days where I'll have Eminem days, like, man, I really want to hear all this shit, you know. I remember whenever I would hear Kim when I was a kid, whenever I heard Kim, I would always be ready to fight. Like, yo, I'm fucking psycho and shit like that. Like last, what was it, like about 3 weeks? I had a Marshall day, and I listened to a bunch of his fucking songs, and Kim came on, and I was started thinking about that moment. Like, yo, I wonder if I'm gonna trip. And I was listening to it, and I'm listening, I'm laughing. I'm like, yo, this thing is wild. I'm like, yo, this is such a great song. And I was like, oh, I don't feel crazy. I don't feel like, you know, cleaning out my closet came out. I didn't feel like hating my mom, you know? And
Right.
like, it was so great. I was just enjoying the moment, not letting the energy take over me, you know? And that's what constant inner self communication is all about. And once you have that, now you're in a space where when your dreams happen, you may I'm not saying you can understand, like if your dream tells you three doves flown, you're like, yeah, that means Osiris, the god of moon, wants to talk to you. Like, no, I'm not saying that. But when you see crazy shit happen, you're gonna start understanding what your mind and body are trying to tell you, not by learning the academics of it, but just by understanding the communication between you, your mind, and your body. Because it'll be much simpler. You start understanding the dialect better. At least that's what just I believe. I'm not saying that's fact. I'm not saying I'm not creating a religion. Don't send me tithe money. Don't don't send me offerings. You know, I'm just saying that's just what
Send
I
us
believe
a
in.
lot of fucking money. Yes, do that.
I'm not saying none of that.
You're
I'm
on
just saying
full
go to
blown
church.
1,000% sage mode today. I might as well not even be on the fucking show. I mean,
Nah, yo,
this
I'm
is
so
it.
sorry, bro. Like, yo,
No, it's
you
not a
know.
knock. I can't say anything when you're saying these things because I'm like, this is such. That's why I love having you on the show. This is great. Um, but yeah, I do think there are multiple avenues to listen to things, and dreams might be one of them. And real quick before we wrap it up, what do you? When's the last time you had a nightmare, and what do you think that comes from? Because I haven't had a nightmare since. I mean, I couldn't have been. I had to be younger than 19, 18. Had to be like right after high school. Maybe it was my last one. I don't even remember what it was. I just remember waking up and being terrified because I was out somewhere in the woods.
It was definitely last year. Uh, I had the moment my daughter died. It was like on CK Yomi repeat. It was
Mm-hmm.
like bizarre. Like it was wild torture. Like it was like for the 8 hours that I slept, I at least saw that moment replay in my head about 1 billion times in that dream, nonstop, nonstop. Like it was, and I couldn't wake up. Like I guess I was lucid because I knew what was happening, but I couldn't get out. Like it was like holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Now, sorry, go on.
no, go. What happened?
Well, I was just gonna say because usually a nightmare. I mean, it scares me if, like you said, something happens to someone else. But it also scares me. Like the most scary thing that I've ever had happen was dying, but you wake right up. Have you had that experience? And what was it like for you? Because I remember being like 5 years old. And you remember the X-Men cartoons?
Yeah,
That Quicksilver character, he was like dressed in like turquoise blue. He had the slick back white hair.
yeah.
I was on top of like a snowy mountain, and he like tackled me and then shoved a knife in my back, and I woke up and ran to my mom's room crying, like because I was like, I fucking died. I didn't say fucking then, but I died in a dream, and I'm just like I don't know what I'm doing, but that's most nightmares. How they ended for me was like either someone I love dying or just dying in general, and then I wake right up.
So No, what you're saying isn't funny, but
No,
it was
it's hilarious because I was a little. Well, I
it.
mean, I was
It just
5, but I was
nah.
a
That
little
was some real
5-year-old bitch.
Quicksilver shit though. Like I'm sitting here thinking first, I'm like, yo, yeah, that's something that Quicksilver would actually do. Pietro was a backstabbing bitch, and then I started thinking about like that incident that I had, and it was one of the reasons why I hated Godzilla as a kid for like the longest. Like like I still respected him as the king of all monsters. Definitely after I tell you the dream, but I had a dream when I was like 5, and apparently I had this high fever that I don't even remember. I was probably 4, but I had this high fever I don't remember, but I remember the dream. I remember what happened after, and fucking, I had this dream where I fought Godzilla, right? Like I picked the fight. Like it wasn't even like he picked the fight. Like nah, bro. I went to his house, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, shoot the box. Let's go.
Come outside.
Yeah, and he was like, bro, we don't want this. And I threw a tree at him. I threw a whole tree. Like I grabbed the tree and I threw at him and I hit him in the nose, square on his shit, bro. I was like, yo, what up? Like, I got super strength. And we started fighting and shit like that, and then he got wild big. Like, I threw that, I guess he was far. Because I threw that shit and hit him in the nose, and I guess he was far. Because that dude went up to me, he got wild big. And, like, I lost all my power in straight fear. And I ran. I was running, right? But apparently with this super strength, I ran super fast. It wasn't like I was running super fast. My legs were just strong so I can go fast.
Mm-hmm.
But super speed. I don't know. But all I know is that I was gunning it. I'm running. This dude's coming. He's charging up, right? And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like getting fast. I'm like, come on. I'm like, this fucking super speed. I didn't say fucking, but I was only like a kid. And I'm like, come on, I'm running. And I'm getting in this fucking tunnel with trees and shit. And I'm running. I'm parkouring that shit, right? And the fire is coming, right? And I'm going, and I'm seeing the shit like.
You're like,
right
oh, you thought I was going right. I'm going left.
Yo, I'm going, I'm running, I'm fucking parkouring this shit. I'm going. And I get through the hole, right? And I go up, like I try to jump up, and his whole black, like the fire burned the shit out of my ass. Like it melted my whole ass. Like my ass, my thigh, my back, knee, everything. My Achilles, my heel, all that
You could
shit.
just say your body, but yeah.
Yo, vaporized, bro. And then I wake up, and I swear I felt my body still burning.
Mm.
So I wake up and I'm 4. I'm like, my ass is on fire. Or I was like, my body's on fire. My body's on fire. And then my dad is like, what the fuck? What? And then, I'm like, my ass is on fire. And I'm just like screaming in pain. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And like, everybody's mad confused. Like, they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, my body's on fire. And my mom, God bless her heart, like she was like, look, maybe he has a fever. Like maybe the fever's in his ass. Like I was like, come on. So she picks me up. She puts cold water and ice on my ass. And it healed my ass. Like I kid you not. Like yo, it healed my ass. Like I didn't feel the burn no more. It was great.
Oh my god.
Yo, that's how wild that dream was. Yeah, that shit kicked me in the ass. Yeah.
Literally. Well,
Yeah.
it burned your ass, but so yeah. That was one thing I was wanting to get into too, right before we wrap up. Is do you think dreams, and this is the final one, and we can wrap up. Do you think when you're having those experiences, those like you can feel what's going on in the dream, is that maybe your nervous system kind of replicating that feeling while you're asleep? Or do you think it's all fabricated in the mind? Because you said you woke up feeling it.
Yeah. Your mind could feel, your nervous systems could think that you're burning, but you're not.
Right.
But it thinks you are.
It's like when you
You
take
know?
Molly, you can like die of hypothermia even though you're fucking sweating bullets because your
Exactly.
body yeah.
You know, like it's wild. Like your mind is a powerful tool. Like when people say it, I mean one time I was working in Zara and I didn't want to work there anymore. Like not like forever, but like just for like that day. Like I was like, I'm done. I'm leaving early. So I planned it. I planned it from the minute I woke up to go to work. I was like, this is how we're gonna sell this. So I came in, I took my mom's cane, and I started limping. Right, I started limping around. I used to walk like house. I used to love doing that, having a
Like
cane
house.
like house. Like I can't use a cane no other way now. Like I have to walk like house when I use a cane. Like it's so annoying. Like
You're like Willy Wonka before he did that fucking front flip.
yeah, like it's like yo, it's what the so I'm walking around, right? They're like, what happened? I'm like, yo, I'm like, man, I was like, yo, these fucking dudes try to chase me up in the Bronx, and I jumped the whole flight of stairs in the staircase, and I slammed on my foot. It's just fucked up. They're like, oh my god. They're like, yeah, you know, like that's some random old guy gave me his fucking cane. And they're like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, nah, but I'm straight though. I'm straight. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. She's like, you want to go home? I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. I'm good. So I work like 3 hours. And then I'm like, yo, I can't do this no more. I gotta go. And then she sends me home. And then, great. So I go home. I start planning my day, get some hookah flavor. The minute I get home, my leg started throbbing in pain. I was like, what the? I was like, holy fuck, bro. I took a Epsom salt bath and everything. Like that shit was in wild pain.
Put Vicks Vapor Rub on it, took some Benadryl.
Like that shit was and like it was it was so surreal. Like I remember I told my sister at the time. That's what my sister told me. My sister was like, yo, because you thought that so hard and you played it so hard, you fooled your body. Your mind fooled your body into thinking that it was actually in pain. I was like, what the fuck? My brother fake stiff necked his neck so hard he got stiff neck. Like
Damn.
that shit was funny as fuck. Like it was like we laughed so hard about it. Like it was like what the fuck?
Got an enection.
Yeah, like
And
that
that's
shit was
the last time you'll hear me say that terrible joke. But yeah, I wanted to, talk about dreams real quick. We didn't even get into scientific, but we could save that for the edible episode if Sage obliges. But I think that
yeah,
could be fun.
yeah, we could do that
Whatever
next.
we want to do. Any final thoughts or shout outs you want to do before we hop off?
Follow the VOP USA Radio. Follow Sage Wave. Follow Engage and Sage. Follow Sage Misfit. Follow Misfit Sage, and follow Charm Misfit on Snapchat. Those are all my fucking things, people. Don't act like I didn't fucking tell you, you motherfuckers.
And then follow at Coincidental69. And you can go ahead and follow my other Instagram, which I'm trying to turn into at least a meme page for the time. Make a couple memes once a week or so. It's at Coin with 569s. And yeah, like he said, VOP, support all the shows. And remember, if you're dreaming and you're in a weird place and you think it's safe to piss, don't fucking do it. And peace.
Peace out, guys.